What's up, tubers? It's your boy Ichi, and I wanted to just show you guys the finished product of the glow-in-the-dark controller. I call this controller Casper because it's really cool, actually. I've done a lot of cool things to this particular controller. It's modded out for my taste. It may not be your taste, but I just want to go over what has changed on the controller. A couple of little things is one big thing that's not little is that the face buttons are different. And I went with the face buttons out of an MLG Pro controller that I had lying around that I used for the PS3, and those buttons are really long, so I had to file them down in order to get the right height and profile that I wanted so it looked stock. And I added just a slight amount of height for easier touching as I go back and forth, and they're really responsive, works very well, and I'm really happy with the results. I also like that all of the little openings are all facing downward. Just a little touch that I wanted to add that I think looks really good. I kept the stock D-pad because I just like the way the new D-pad feels and looks, so I didn't mess with that. I also didn't add any lights. I like the normal PS button. I do have control freaks that will go on here. I don't have them on here right now because I'm actually going to order some other ones because the ones that I currently have are green, and that just doesn't look as good on this particular controller. In the dark it does, and I'll show you what I mean in a second, but in the day it just doesn't look as good. So I'll use that one for now, but as we stand, I'm not going to be using that as my standard control freak. On the back you'll see that I've done the scuf mod, or my version of the scuf mod, and I went a little big on it, and I've got the bigger button for my knifing and the smaller button for my jumping. This just works out well for me. My finger position hits these buttons perfectly, and I can play with no issues, so I really like the fit and feel of this particular controller. There's only one other thing that I plan to do to this controller. I'm going to actually add some trigger stops here, and I don't know exactly where I'm going to add them at, but basically what that will allow me to do, if I mean to bump the camera, if you look at my orange controller, what that'll allow me to do is, you see how that is there? It'll give me kind of a hair trigger. And on my other controller, I did do spacers in between the L2 and R2, but I decided to go with trigger stops just because I think it looks cooler and they're a little bit easier to install. This controller, by the way, has a scuf mod as well, but it's 2 small buttons. That's pretty much it. Everything works as normal. There's only one other thing that you guys need to see on this controller, which is probably what you came here for, and that is this. So yeah, not only does it have the mod and everything, but it is light sensitive. The more light you give it, the brighter it shows, and it stays lit for a decent amount of time. But I just thought that was a cool effect to do on the PS4 controller. Didn't see anybody else doing it, and this one is pretty much done. I'll let you guys know, or let me know rather, if you want to see my video where I do the actual hair trigger mod, and I'll make that video as well. Otherwise, that's it. Like, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. This one was a little more difficult because once I painted it, I actually had to go in and I went and cleared it, so it's got a shine to it as well. And I did a couple coats of wet sanding, or excuse me, a couple passovers of wet sanding, and resprayed it to try to get a nice sheen to it. Great looking controller, really enjoy it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching my content. I'll see you guys in the next one. More videos to come. Happy New Year. Peace.